start the webinar. Thanks so much. Andrea, welcome on board. Thank you so much for being part of this special AI series of SPOUG. Thank you so much, Johan. And David there, thank you all. It's a real pleasure having you all over here with us at SPOUG. So, all yours, Andrea. Tú puedes ya continuar y dar paso ya a tus compañeros. Muchísimas gracias.
Muchas gracias, Oscar. Thank you so much, Oscar, and to the Spanish user group for hosting this webinar. Buenos días, buenas tardes, good morning or afternoon, everyone, depending on where you are joining us from, and welcome. My name is Andrea, and I'll be guiding you through the first part of today's webinar. I'm joined today by Johan Tekens, as Oscar explained, our CTO, and Davinder Kumar, our software architect, and together they will share a few practical ways AI can support your team in your day-to-day work. So at Steltix, we've spent more than 25 years working with JD Edwards. Actually, this year is our 25th, and we're making a big party out of it. And we are a global team of more than 250 experts, with local offices in 11 countries and with more than 800 customers worldwide. That experience shapes how we think about AI, not as a hype, but as something that is useful, safe, and based in real business needs. So this is what we do. We support the full JD Edwards life cycle, from advisory service and project delivery to managed service. And we also have developed our own JD Edwards solution and deliver an extensive catalog of training. So today's session is really about showing how AI can fit into the environment you already know. A few words, and I don't want to take too much time on this, but we need to mention our JD Edwards solutions. So AppShare gives you a fresh, real-time way of working with JD Edwards. Our invoicing automation helps you keep up with invoicing regulations, now rising in Europe and Middle East. And tools like Transparent Logon, Dropzone, and Version Workbench are about saving time. And one of our latest ones, Oracle Guided Learnings for JD Edwards, is developed together with the JD Edwards product development team in Denver. And basically what it does, it helps users navigate the system in a more consistent and efficient way. So if you'd like to hear more, just send me an email and I'll be happy to share more information on those. Moving on to today's agenda, we have an introduction by Johan on JD Edwards and AI, followed by privacy by design, because privacy is a big one on AI, and I'm sure everyone's very interested in this. Then we'll take a look at 4 practical examples of AI applied to your application landscape, starting from code analysis and decustomization reporting, data analysis with our Steltix Tara tool, and an introduction of our Steltix AI Studio. Also, we will learn how to generate apps with AppShare. After that, we're going to be moving to a Q&A of around 5 minutes. But if you have questions for now, just type them on the chat and we'll get on them at the end. We can answer them. And without further ado, Johan, the floor is yours. So enjoy the webinar.
So thank you. So there's a lot of talks on AI. And you see it online. We have a lot of talks with people around us, with customers. But today we talk strictly about AI in how we use it at Steltix with JD Edwards in an ERP context. Not creating marketing content, not creating music, images, videos, text writing. No, today we talk about that specific thing as a tool that we can use, that we have in our toolbox, that we can use with our daily work. And that's also the way that we typically see AI. Basically, if you have a nail, you need a hammer. If you have a screw, you have a screwdriver. And for some things, AI is incredibly useful. But what I see often online, I guess, is people spending a lot of money, say, we have this AI initiative, let's do AI. And recently, there's already been stories out for an Uber ran through their budget in April already.
Yeah, because if you have everything AI, right, then you
Yeah.
earn a lot of money on that. And I think we need hybrid solutions. You need to identify where you need to introduce AI, not everywhere. Don't try to introduce it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, true. Yeah. So seeing AI as one of the tools in our toolbox is, in my head, the best healthy way of looking at AI. And there's some more things that are really interesting before we talk about AI. And that is about privacy. If you have your text translated, if you generate images, work from home or whatever, then maybe the public AIs could be something if there's no personal data in there.
Yeah. I would like to add one more thing, Johan, there, because you need to also train your employees how to use or handle your data with AI.
True. Yeah. Because even Anthropic, they leaked their own source code through their AI platform.
And they can harvest on your data.
Yes. And how many times did Facebook already had to come to court? Like, oops, we did share your information anyway.
Yeah.
Although I'm a big fan of putting things in cloud, but then there's encryption at rest and everything is very controlled and your data is safe.
Yeah.
But personally, I wouldn't send all my customer list to a public AI and say, sort my customers or recalculate my profit and those kinds of things.
Yeah.
So therefore, we have a very strong focus on local LLMs, where everything is controlled and it runs or on your customer premise or Steltix premise, or maybe even in the cloud, but very much controlled by one specific model. That we talk to a model that doesn't get changed tomorrow because some kind of provider thinks you need a new model and it behaves different. And specifically in an ERP world, you want a solid working environment and going into production.
A nice thing about local LLM is that you can train it on your data, and that makes you to take decisions based on your data instead of AI telling you, hey, you need to do that.
Yeah.
The output could look convincing, but it could be incorrect or information.
Yeah. Well, that's why we typically do everything with open weight models, Granite, Cohere, Gamma, Qwen, and more of those models. And some of them are really are the smaller models, which you can actually train on your domain knowledge. So it actually knows about your specific domain. And also the speed and everything else, you will see that even the smaller models that you can run yourself actually can perform better than the bigger open models that have a lot of generic knowledge, but not your specific knowledge.
Exactly.
And it's very good for generic solutions. Don't get me wrong, but for specifically in our ERP landscape and an ERP world where you're concerned about IT security and doing transactions, these are way more suitable for a world where that works.
I think two things are concerning for public model is that you need to think about your data, and second, cost.
Oh yeah.
With local, you don't need to think about your data and cost.
No.
Yeah, you just think about the hardware or capability that you need.
Because once you have it running, you can hit it unlimitedly and throw as much data at it, because I mean it's your model that's running. And if you want to do it the whole day, nobody would worry. If you do that with open public models and various tools, it will cost you money.
Yeah, and we have been using using it for a while now, and we can prototype really fast.
Oh yeah.
And we can throw out, hey, we don't need this prototype. We can just throw it away.
Yeah.
If I would use other public AIs with our developers, it would cost us more.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It would cost us significant more.
Yeah.
We already had a return on investment of our local hardware here, I think, in 3-4 months.
Yeah.
So it's a different way of thinking, I guess. Or if you work as an enterprise or as a
a
business customer working with business data.
Exactly.
So there it's a big thing. So I would say let's go to the first example. And one of the things that AI is incredibly powerful is summarizing. Summarizing is, everybody uses it, throw text at it, rewrite my text, make my text better, what does this contract say, and those kind of things. Now, what we've done specifically with Oracle JDBs, and what we are showing here are not Steltix products. That's what we use for engagement with customers so far. So if you do an upgrade project, and if there's a lot of uncertainty, we sometimes use these kind of technologies to get a really depth understanding of actually what's happening in the system. If it's a system that we've built and we know there's 5 customizations, it's definitely not interesting. But if we work with the customer, for example, that is already running JDBs for years and years, and developers have been on top of developers, and maybe some developers were hired, and your JDBs has been customized, and you really want to know what's happening in your JDBs. And that's one of the concerns about retrofitting or customized systems, is what has been customized and what are these things doing. So what we've done to be compatible with any JDB system, we generate par files from the objects that have been changed, let's say for the last 10, 12 years, from the pristine environment and production. Then we know the differences and have AI analyze all the differences between the pristine and the production environment. And this is what AI is very powerful. One of the things that AI can see, you have so many additions because it analyzed all the source code, you removed functionality, we extended functionality, we changed reporting, we modified the existing behavior, or we modified the user interface. And those kind of things that AI can analyze from the differences of your code very well. It's incredibly smart at it. Another thing that we do with AI, we take the differences between your production and your pristine environment, and AI is summarizing all the field and the code and the form changes and makes a kind of technical summary. The technical summary is definitely nice for developers and techies, but functional people sometimes have their questions. So again, we summarize that into a functional description. And even the functional people know what actually these developers have done. But that doesn't mean that application management understands it. So also those changes, we summarize again and make it readable for an application manager. And then in the end, the executive, the management wants to know what's happening in your JDB system. And again, it can summarize and make a nice management summary from the lowest detail where the developer was making code changes to the higher levels where actually management understands what is happening. And the last time I ran this on a customer, actually AI had to think for about 6 hours. It's a really complex thing, but if you have a local LLM or one in the cloud that you're hiring for a couple of euros an hour, it's very affordable to have AI run for 6 hours, building a report like this in multiple layers and grades.
Yeah, and the scary thing is that AI could make mistakes, right?
Oh yeah.
With public ones, you can't run those reports again and again, but you have local one running, you can quickly run the report again and then have your results in front of you.
Yeah. So for this webinar, I anonymized one of the reports. Poof. Where you can see, your JDE object names, and within your JDE object names, you see on the lowest level, like, oh, some code changed here, some code changed there, which is very interesting for developers and for functional people. And you can scroll up, and there will be, after the JDE objects have been modified, non-production changes, a technical report about all the fields and things that have been changed, a functional report, specifically in these functions, this has been changed, that has been changed. And it all rolls up into an anonymized webinar case study summaries. because I didn't want to share. Of course, privacy is very dear to me, and to Steltix. That this is an executive summary. What executives should know. This is for the application management. What has been changed in sales, and what has been changed in purchasing, and very slowly you can. Exactly what you were saying. If you don't trust the management report, go to the application report, go back to the functional report, and you can scroll down, drill down to the lowest level.
Exactly.
So this is basically the first example. Then I guess we have another amazing example.
Yes. To me. Yes, we can analyze the code that Johan just showed. It would be nice if we could talk to running JD environment, right? So AI is very nice in summarizing stuff. And then we thought maybe we need to cook things together and see how far we can go. So now we are using local LLM, and we are extending it with MCP protocol, which makes your AI model can now talk to external systems, in this case, AIS server or JD AdWords at the end. And it makes your local model powerful, because when you have local LLM running, it just in knowledge, it just has knowledge. But if you want to extend the knowledge, you add external systems to it. It can talk to databases. But in this case, we don't go to database directly. We say, hey, we want to respect the security of AIS server and users where they should have access. And let's take that power and use it. So I'm going to give you a demo. How can we do that? So we go to browser. Yeah. So do we also have?
What do you need?
I need the notes. That's fine. That's fine. So we're going to ask list and sales orders entered.
Sorry, Davinder, I think we cannot see what you're doing in the screen.
Maybe we clicked it. So now it should be fine, right?
Yes, now we can see it.
Thank you. Thank you, Andrea. Yeah. Now let's see how far it can go. So now we are just asking this question in natural language. Now it will talk to the system, in this case AAS, and here it knows, okay, I need to use this date format according to the user settings, and it will identify the fields that are there in the table. And here you go.
Yeah, that's happened when you mix AI with code and AIS servers.
Yes, so you can just use natural language now to, you can talk to your AIS.
And actually, this is factual data. This is nothing that can be hallucinated or whatever. This is just the match of fuzzy search through the system and actually factual data out of JDAWs.
Yeah, the data quality really matters in AI world. If your data is inaccurate, so you will get inaccurate outputs. So now in this one, it first figure out I need to use this date format to filter out stuff. And we controlled it using getting the fields so that it can also drill down on each field, and it knows the description and everything. So now I'm testing if how far it can go. So now in this case, we asked for the sales order. Let's ask if we get names. Is the Let's see if now it can get the names of these addresses that we have here. Because it has the context already. It knows, okay, I'm talking about this result. Now here you go. You have the names as well. And the nice thing about AI, it can just take any shape. Now I can also say right. Okay, not this one. I think interesting would be count orders per type. So here you see you have SO 47, CD, SK based on the data that your system has. And now we can also say make a chart. Some people are good in visualization, and it also really nice to take decisions based on very quickly once you have data available.
Yeah, the cool thing, you're discovering the fields and the tables just on the fly. So
yeah.
If you're allowed to browse through the whole of JDA, then you're allowed to play with the data in many ways.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So we started with this one, Johan here. We just asked for list 10 sales order entered last week. So we have the list, and we didn't have the name here. Then we asked it again, and then provided, hey, that's the name of the customers that are there. And then quickly we could also count. So it can, based on what you really need, you can just talk to your system and get answers really quickly, instead of figuring out how to make a SQL query and get answers.
Well, and this is even the base behavior.
Yeah.
You could, in addition, you can add in AI a skill or a prompt saying, well, take a look at this, or this is how my system is configured.
Yes.
Or this is important, that it is not important, to focus it on specific areas or specific tables or specific things, UDCs that you've set up.
Yes.
That you can make it behave very specific to your scenario.
And here you can also say, maybe now we can make write an email. I'm curious what comes out. Now it's not going to your system anymore. It has the data. So now we also didn't ask what kind of email it should write. So now it's just guessing. Maybe you need to write that email to your manager or teammate. So based on the summary, it can also write email. Cool. That's powerful. It can take any shape. So we started the conversation with the sales orders, and then we asked for get us the name, and then we started counting how many types of sales order we have, and then it could also create chart, and then now we are just writing email. So you can quickly change context and take decisions based on what data you have. It's pretty impressive. I think this is it from
this is this demo. So also here, I don't think that AI will anywhere replace us anywhere soon. Or you hear stories that people got fired because of AI, but I also see them hiring more and more people because of AI again, because people are not being replaced. But what I do see a lot, that it helps me and you and a lot of people here already at Steltix and floating more and more to customers as well, that it's an amazing help to get your daily work done. And keep the human in the loop. And the human is still responsible for browsing JD inputs. And so we did another initiative, and that is the AI Studio. And instead of having it really wide open, we say Well, we only allow you to talk to specific components in JDevOps. And because this piece of software is able to read basically any document, understand the content, and actually start making transactions. And if you do those kind of things, a document needs to be very accurate. There can be no misconception about a document. And also this has a live JDevOps connection. So once it gets a document, it looks at the document, and depending if it's a sales order, it checks horizontally if everything matches up. Vertically, it looks at VAT numbers and just understands the document that everything is at the right place.
I think you need to just guard your AI so that it can take decisions, right decisions for you.
Yeah. Right. And also you hear that people are firing developers. Well, there's a whole ton of code to have AI work together and understand the document. Yeah. Because a document is sometimes in real PDF format. There's sometimes images in documents. There's a whole lot of different media content that actually AI needs to start understanding and then merge it back together and then make something really understand what the document is intended for. And the next step is, of course, have a live connection with over AIS, with JDevOps over API. And the cool thing is what you just did with Tara, and you can do here as well, but actually validate, like, hey, but I found this customer number. Is it the customer ID? Does it exist? Does this product exist? And then take you by the hand and help you to create a transaction. And if there's any questions, ask you like, hey, well, I don't know. And it can actually learn and actually do the transaction for you. So let me share a browser. And this is browser. So what do we have here? I just signed into Steltix AI Studio. And this has an open connection with JDevOps on my user ID. And in here, I configured some different AI models that are very strong at vision, very strong at communicating. What I can do is if I have orchestrations in my system, I can add an orchestration into my chat. So that's part of my chat. And I already added a lot of forms for sales orders, search employees, and those kind of things. Create sales orders, add a line, or modify a sales order. So I just gave it a handful of tools. And what this chat does, it only sees those tools. It cannot go out because it doesn't know and it doesn't have access to it. And specifically, if you want to be able to do transactions, you have to have like a tiny set that AI can do. Still, AI is really flexible, but you have to keep it in Rails. So now I can, for example, say, hey, create an order. This is also a demo system for 2 red bikes. Well, 2 red bikes don't exist. So it's now reading my question, and it's figuring out in JDevOps what to do with this. So it's searching items, and within those items you see, well, a red bike. Do you mean a mountain red bike or a touring red bike? Well, that's and actually here already the new flexible user interface is starting to get born, because it's not asking for a chat. It's actually already, and I wanted to in M30, but I could do it in Breastman 10. I also didn't specify anything in there. So it will ask me like, oh, I don't know how to do this. Can you help me? Oh, yes, of course. Let's get this done. So now it will start creating an order in JDevOps. And what I see a lot is really keep the user in the loop, specifically in the beginning, because you can see what it's doing. Now it's creating a sales order here. And also here, it has a link straight in the sales order. Poof, go to JDevOps, see if the sales order, oh yes, it's there. So, and now, for example, I want to change what is it? Request date, for example. Yeah. Change request date 10. So it knows the current time, it knows the current date. But this tool, I said, hey, it can modify a sales order line, it can create a sales order, it can change sales order line statuses and all those kind of things. But that's actually all it can do. So now it should be change the request date of the order to June 10. So I'm just demoing here. Oh, open the order, line is on, update the line, please. Yes, go for it. And the amount of autonomy that you want to have your AI, you can determine yourself and have an opinion on how autonomous do I want my AI. And this is basically take it by the hand and a lot to keep the user in the loop. So what I can do as well is, for example, add a purchase order and say,
have it already, right?
No, that's great. Sales order from this purchase order, sales order from my bike shop. And what I've done here, I actually took a real purchase order and completely modified it so that nobody would actually recognize where it's coming from, and change the dates and everything else. So it's actually reading this PDF right now. The buyers, they're on Takens, and I want some bikes. So now it's actually interpreting the document. It's analyzing the document, as you see, and it's structuring. It could take a bit of time sometimes. Let me see. It should be ready in some minutes. So it's still analyzing the document. I can click it open. That's also why there's multiple models. There's one model is very good in analyzing documents. The other one is structuring documents. So it actually found the PDF and get all the details of the PDF. This is a purchase order, la 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 la, buyer, da da da. So it actually analyzed the full document. And I also have a lot of examples where this went completely wrong because the horizontal or the vertical lines didn't match up. And then AI will say, hey, this is not, oh, by the way, what kind of bike do you want to order? Found 16. I don't know what was in there. And this can, of course, be trained like, hey, if this customer orders this, then it's probably that. And if customer that orders this, then it's probably that. So I say, hey, make it a touring bike. And it should now actually search for the items. Actually finding it. Oh, and it finds the touring, which brand plans. Again, I'm going to override it. I don't know if that's a good idea, but I could have clicked 1030. I mean, this is just Steltix demo data.
But it's nice to have human in the loop, right? So
This-
it's not everything AI, but
Exactly.
a human could also take a...
And at the moment that everything was pre-prompted, saying, hey, if you create an order, always do it in this branch plant, or it would take all the faults and go for it. But now I didn't tell it anything, and it doesn't know, and it will keep the user in the loop. Okay, yeah, well, you want to create
in some decisions, accuracy matters, right?
a lot.
Yeah, for inventory, of course, you need accuracy.
If you talk about transactions,
Yeah.
yes. So now it created my order, and I can open it immediately in JDebits, and boom, there's my sales order. Another thing is, before I started this webinar, I threw an invoice in, and this doesn't work. I'm just demoing how to create a sales order, but it's just a thought process. It can also read from a folder, for example. I put an invoice in there. If an invoice shows up in a specific folder, it creates it, and now it doesn't have invoice tools. Or match it, but it doesn't have any of the tools. I can tell it wouldn't know what to do, and it will tell me I can't. So this is an example basically of giving AI a handful of tools, saying, hey, these are the forms that you can touch, and that's it.
Then you stay in control, right? Then you know what your system can do.
Absolutely. That's just another example of using AI there as well.
Nice. Generating apps with AppShare. So we talked about summarizing and analyzing existing customization, right? And then we talked about how you can talk to your JD environment, right? And how you can do control transactions. But it was more about chatting or chatbot kind of interface. But you still need apps for some solutions, right? You can't go everything AI. You still need hybrid systems or solution to deliver value to your business. So we have been extending JD AdWords using our AppShare. So it's a nice front end for your JD AdWords. It's progressive web app which runs in your browser. Browser could be anywhere. It could be in a scanner, in a phone, in a tablet, or desktop, or a smart robot or a truck. So we have been creating these apps, and we know the capability of AI, right? Because we have 1,000+ apps, we have the data already. Once you have the data, then you have the context, and then you can also take the help of AI to generate apps for you. So we go to the next slide. Here we say creating apps with AI. Now we are on a point where we can say, hey, that's my process flow diagram. That how the app should work, and we can give this flow diagram to AI, and it can generate apps for us. So it's not just generating the app; it's also how it should create that app, right? We have the libraries that we have developed for our developers so that they can develop faster. We have consistency there. We have the quality because we know our libraries, they work well with UI and they can talk to JD AdWords system very well. So our developers could already develop faster, but using AI, we can even develop more faster, or sometimes AI could just generate full app for us because we have the data already for every process. It could be supply chain, manufacturing, even finance. So we have set of libraries that can support the development. So we are leveraging AI there as well.
So we still don't fire developers. We actually hire more developers.
I guess yes, but it means it's not about going fully AI, right?
No, it's an amazing help.
Yeah,
it's like having an intern next to you.
Yeah,
that supports you in your daily tasks.
As I also mentioned earlier, that we can now prototype faster than before.
Yes.
So earlier it would take us like a week to prototype, but now in a day, multiple times we can prototype with multiple solutions, and then we say, okay, yeah, that's the one that fits our need, and you get quality and accuracy at the end. So we have AI, plus we have the data of the apps, plus we have our libraries that supports AI so that it can develop apps according to our consistency. Because sometimes when you generate apps using AI, you can ask same website, it would give you different colors, maybe different navigation, right? You don't want that, but we can control it using our libraries that we have. And it can improve your decision making at the end, how you want your app.
Yeah, what you see with vibe coding, I think it's definitely a bit overhyped in many cases, but don't throw away this amazing tool.
No,
because it's incredibly powerful.
No.
It's incredibly powerful.
Yeah, so the public AI, what they do, they just go outside and grab code and then code it for you. But once you have your SDKs, your own kits and libraries, that supports AI as well. Then it can take more decisions. Okay, that's how your app works, and that's how your process flow works. According to that, it can make apps really faster.
Yeah, and exactly like you want.
Yes, exactly like you want. I think this is it.
Oh yeah. I think we even have some time for Q&A. Yeah?
Yeah, would be.
We try to time it very strict.
You guys did really great on the timing. I was actually looking at the minutes, and you nailed it. Very good, very good.
Thanks.
Well, we try to be brief in the topics. And we could
That
talk,
was nice.
of course.
So now moving on to the Q&A part of our webinar. I see we have a few questions, and I'll just read them out loud. So first one is, from code analysis and decustomization report, are we planning to automate the retrofit, as we spend a lot of hours on retrofit based on customizations, which can gradually improve timeline and efforts?
Yes.
That's a good question.
We have definitely thought about it. We just haven't done it. But there will be a day between now and very soon that we at least are going to try it, because there's a lot more to a standard retrofit than simply merging code. If it's some C or C code, it's relatively okay to merge it. But if it's additional fields and tables, if it's the extension of data structures in JDE, there's a bit more to that than simply retrofitting it. I think we can do it. I have a design in my head, but we're not there yet.
The more parameters you have, that means you have to be very careful.
Also, and AI doesn't always know about the nitty-gritty details that happen under the hood in JDEP, about specs and native event rules. It can do a lot, but it's an area that we're discovering, and I would like to see it happening anywhere. But this is already very powerful, because a developer has a lot of help already with these reports on a relatively low level. What it's doing,
it's providing visibility.
Yes,
What has been changed,
and that's also keep the user or the developer in the loop. I mean, it's an amazing tool to help developers, but I don't see it replacing developers.
Yeah, sometimes you could miss detail.
And I don't think ever that it will say you don't need a developer for a retrofit. At least the developer needs to verify and check everything in and out. That would be the perfect situation.
I think it will empower the developers.
That definitely empowers a lot. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. So the next one is, they apologize for entering after time. And the question is the solution installed on premises? Performance on demo is not good, and how it will perform on a real database with millions of records? Where is the data stored, and what is the model cost?
Okay. First of all, I think it's not a hard product, but it's a tool that we can use with customers that we do implementations or managed services, and then we use these kind of tools. I don't think that AI will ever just fly anywhere soon. It's just the way that AI interprets data and processes data. The transactions itself go relatively quick. So I don't think it's about the demo data, because that goes on the fly. And AI simply, also the public AIs, need a bit of time. And I've seen newer models being almost double the speed. But this is roughly also, if you would use the public AIs, it wouldn't be a lot faster.
It would be the same.
Yeah, it would be roughly the same. And I don't think you will outperform a user keying in if he knows JD in and out. But a user who doesn't know what he's doing will definitely, AI could definitely be a good help. Is that a good answer, or feel free to?
I think it's good enough. If not, we will hear again in the Q&A section. So the next one is, what percentage of the time are the presenters spent on AI-related matters versus non-AI-related initiatives? Basically, are they dedicated to AI initiatives only? If yes, then does it mean organizations that run EnterpriseOne need similar type of dedicated IT resources to grow AI-driven initiatives?
That's a very good question. And I'm not 100% dedicated to AI. I do a lot of other things.
I think it's about hybrid mindset, right?
Yeah.
Maybe I think once you know the capability of the AI, where what it can do, let's say if you are into videos, if you know AI can generate videos, then you would use that part, right?
Yeah.
But if you know the capability, then you will be able to make decisions where you need to introduce AI in your business. Not everywhere, just talk to your employees where they are struggling. Maybe you can automate a lot of part there.
Yeah, and also I think the second or the third slide we showed like a toolbox with ERP in it and screwdrivers and databases and AI is just part of that story, I guess. Oh wait, yeah, you're sharing it, but AI is part of this story, and I don't see dedicated AI people as a requirement, but you do need, it does make sense to have at least one or two people in your organization that know AI and what to do with it.
Yes, yeah, you definitely need those people who can help you take those decisions where you need to introduce AI, how it can help you.
Yeah. And that's also why AI is a bit overhyped. You see a lot of people have AI as their main title. And I mean, yeah, well, maybe if you work for a very big conglomerate with over 10,000 employees or something, it makes sense because you have a person for each individual small task. But it also helps you to keep people grounded, I guess, to see AI as a really powerful tool. But it's not the solution. It's definitely not the solution.
Definitely, yes. We don't have any more questions. For now, we can just give it one more minute, but I think my main, yes? Scott?
Maybe I have a question, if you don't mind. Quite interesting, and it's a fantastic solution, what you have showed us alongside the session. Thank you so much. My question is that, about the models. You were emphasizing that you mainly are running local models to prevent data protection and much better governance of the AI solutions and platforms you have presented. But if I understood well, you can change to public models. You can start using OpenAI or Opus or whatever model. Is that correct?
Yes. And it's just a consideration. And I think we as Steltix are really focused on security, IT security, privacy. We work with a lot of customers and a lot of data. And there we see it as a very important thing. Although I do see others saying, well, Anthropic says it's safe, so I trust it's safe. I do see other people making different decisions.
Yeah, definitely. And in the case they use a different decision, do you provide any kind of FinOps solution in order to be aware how many tokens are the consumption, or what is the average of users of the platform in order to evaluate if people is using the platform of this solution is being used, or these users are using the platform, or these users are not using the platform? Do you provide any kind of tool to evaluate the usage of the platforms?
Well, yeah, it's really easy to measure, and the tools that we've shown, we know exactly how much tokens we have been using.
Okay, all right.
And by the way, if we work with clouds for just our ERP customers, we have really a lot of analytics and dashboards on cloud.
Yeah.
So whatever you do in the clouds, we monitor and we help and suggest also cost improvements.
All right, fabulous.
That's another pitfall, by the way. That's out of the whole AI discussion, but I do see that people using cloud are not always aware of the cloud consequences.
Correct. You mentioned before the Uber case, no, that they spend all their budget in a few months.
True.
Like Uber did, right?
Like Uber or some others, yes.
Hmm.
And even though they are increasing the cost every 6 months now,
Yes.
Google started with what I think it would charge for 1 million tokens around 0.40. Now it's 15 euros.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I see more on social media as well, that on average people estimate that AI is more expensive than humans in many.
And another question: your chat tool, does it has access to the local machine, or is it only a chat currently? Or and the question will be, if it does not has access to the local machine, is there in the future any roadmap to implement the functionality that your chat platform access the local machine?
Oh, it can. Yeah, there's no limitation, and we were just, and it's actually not a chat platform. It's more to show what you can do, and we have been building it in batch, running in the background, reading from file shares. You can do it interactively. You can
and
work
then you
with
just need AAS connection, right?
Yeah.
AAS is connected to your local, then
All right.
Yeah.
connection.
It's flexible. It can do it.
So you can schedule tasks maybe in the platform. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because the schedule makes you feel this, makes you gives you the possibility of running 24/7. You know, scheduling things. You know, and activities and tasks with the GDA platform.
Well, specifically the one that we did with the documents, and as you saw, the last document, the invoice was already imported through a schedule.
Okay.
Because it was already in the tool that was previously imported. Whatever is up in a specific folder, it ends up in your chat tool, or it can be processed completely in the background.
Fantastic. Okay, good.
Okay.
All right.
So we have one more question about Oracle database. So which Oracle database version should we use? Is 19c okay?
Well, what we have demoed today is not talking to an Oracle database. It's talking to the AIS server of JDevOps. It's using APIs. I'm not saying that it couldn't, but a long time ago, I did a lot of experiments giving AI access to your database. And even there, I've seen people online saying, oops, AI deleted my whole database by giving it SQL access to a database, which was unrestricted. And AI thought that it didn't need the data, so it deleted the data. So if you give AI access to a database, think twice with the possible consequences and the rights and the permissions you give AI to a database. It's a serious consideration because there are already enough examples of things going really bad.
I think your security posture changes if you do that.
Oh yeah. Well, if you set up security rights, you can limit AI that it can't do any delete statements or only select statements. But then again, I've done that a couple of times now, and already like 2 years ago, I was able to crash complete databases. Because if you join 48 different tables in one SQL query, and because AI thought it was a good idea to join all those tables together to get your answer, it will still crash the database. So there's a lot of things that you have to think about if you want to give AI access to your database. And I'm not saying it's not possible, but it has consequences. I've done it. You can do it safe, but it's complex. And that's also part of the hype where people think that AI is the hero and can do anything. And again, also, it makes sense that you have somebody or in your organization or that can help you advise what is smart AI usage and what can cause trouble.
Okay. Well, I see we're reaching the end of our time for the web. Oh, wait, we have one more question. How does the AI access the list of your items products?
In what we've used in the demo, I think it's accessing data browser. It's using the AIS server.
Yeah, it's using AIS
and as the user. So also security is granted or can be granted that if a user doesn't have access to a specific company or has row security and JDEP, it's that AI wouldn't be able to access it.
That's why we chose for AAS, right? So that we don't need to think about security again, because that problem has been solved already by AAS. Why would you create it again?
Yeah, JDEP has already solved that problem.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Well, my main takeaway of this webinar is AI can help us, but it can't replace our thinking. That's what I understand from everything. And the best results will always come from combining AI, right, with experience, judgment, and of course, understanding the business. So if you're thinking about your next JDOS project, just reach out to us and we can see how you can use AI in a practical way. We'll be really happy to help. Thank you, Oscar. Thank you to the Spanish user group for organizing this, and to our presenters, Johan and David there. I think you did a great job.
Thank you, Oscar.
David and Johan, Andrea, it's been a pleasure attending your presentation. Definitely, we've learned a lot, and I'm looking forward. Many of the attendees will start using some of your platforms. So, thank you so much. Thanks all the attendees, and see you next Wednesday. We have another appointment with the AI series here in the SPOUG, and all the best. Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Bye.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thanks.